Hey everybody, it's Craig and Tony George back with your Docs Daily Tuesday edition, Tuesday, August 19th. And we are countdown, Tony, 4 days?
Yes.
4 more days. And then we have college football. Well, football's back for real if you don't count CFL. So,
right.
You ready? You ready?
Yeah, I'm headed to Vegas. First thing in the morning, going out for the contest weekend at Circa. Going to be doing some broadcasting on Radio Row there, a little bit of VSiN, and enjoying the contest weekend and the panel that Mike Palm puts together every year back there, a little bit of a seminar. So glad to get back to Vegas, guardedly optimistic about the season, not going to get fired up right out of the gate. You know, there's a lot of unknowns, you know, that here going into the season. Be making a shit ton of futures bets when I get out there, and looking forward to that, getting some good odds versus what you can get here now. Circa just got a license in Missouri, so they're going to have the app in Missouri starting December. They beat out FanDuel for this, them and DraftKings, and I believe ESPN Bet is putting in a storefront sports book there at a casino in Riverside, which is right by downtown, called the Argosy. So finally, after passing almost 8 months ago, they're going to get gambling going in December. So nonetheless, I'm fired up.
How you miss the start of football? You know, it's like you kind of got to wonder. It's like
politics
everything is about the start of football. Not that it's not important year round, but it's like, I guess to get it is to get it. But hey, don't forget, if you haven't done so, we got a couple housekeeping things. Get that free 60. You want to try us out. It's a good time of year. If you're a new customer, you want to say, hey, let's check out Tony. Let's check out Craig, Griffin, whatever capper. It works on everybody. You go to docsports.com/free60. It is just like cash. So you spend it just like cash. If you want to spend it towards a bigger package, or you want to spend it on the individual day sport passes that are $30, you can do so. And if it doesn't profit, you get it back into your account just like it would be cash. So you'll learn how the system works very easily, and it's a good way to get your feet wet a little bit without having to maybe dip into your credit card or your pocketbook. So make sure you check that out. So get in on it, and don't forget, if you haven't done so, like and subscribe. Though we got tons of content going on. Indian Cowboy may have been doing a ton. Griffin and Tony have the Gridiron 60. They got the Vegas Beat that goes on every week. So when it goes up, you'll get notified if you turn on the bell and all that. So make sure you do that.
I wanted to let everybody know, a lot more content coming from yours truly here as football hits. We're going to switch gears with the Vegas Beat and do that on Monday mornings. The Vegas Beat's not going to play tomorrow because I'm on an airplane. But nonetheless, the Gridiron 6-pack debuts next Wednesday, entering its 8th year. Last 2 years, 61% against the spread over a 200-game sample size. It's a Gridiron 6-pack, 3 college, 3 pro plays every Wednesday. The Vegas Beat's going to be a Monday morning recap show, Craig, where we can bitch and moan or celebrate and talk about the craziness that happened over the weekend and what unfolded in a very transparent manner here at DocSports.com. And, of course, the cult following, yes, it's back, Tony George's NFL opening line report every Tuesday morning. And I'll be joined by a special guest on that. We'll have an announcement here coming very soon as I get back from Vegas. So a lot of football content for you guys and gals out there that are hungry for football.
Yeah, and don't forget, that opening line, are you going to do it like the Tuesday? Are you skipping a week since there's a NFL preseason? Or is it going to be the Tuesday before? That'll start out like September.
The week before. That'll start out the week of when the football starts. So that Tuesday morning. Now, usually what I do is
September 2nd,
on there, it's initial reactions. They're not handicap picks, but I go through every game and just gut reaction, like 2 guys sitting around a sports bar drinking a beer. It's just like me and Craig sitting there bullshitting about, hey, did you see that opening line on the Jets? Or, boy, right out of the gate, I'm thinking that's got overwritten all over it. It's a very raw and candid, just a first look take at some of the lines to give you something to think about during the week. And then, of course, as you and I do every week and every other guy at Docs, you look at the opening lines and you sit around and go, what am I going to do by now on Thursday? Holy shit. But, but out of the gate, sometimes those initial reactions, some guy tracked my initial reactions last year, and I hit in the open, and it was like 60 some %. He goes, dude, they're better than your premium plays.
Well, what do they say? If you think too long, you're wrong. It's like,
the paralysis by overanalysis.
Yeah. It just, especially now, the more information hasn't always led to, like, if the more information was better, the sports books would be bankrupt. They wouldn't be spending $1 trillion a year advertising, buying each other, competing against each other. It would be, they would do nothing because they wouldn't have that money advertising marketing budgets to spend. So they're obviously doing better. And a lot of them are the one giving the information now. That used to never be the case. You couldn't click on the website and actually get articles and videos and stuff. So be careful. Like, sometimes you study so much, it's like you just tie your hands. You tie your hands.
You talk yourself out of good place is the problem. Sometimes looking at things and going, oh yeah, they're going to win that by more than 3. And then they end up winning, 27-7, but it went up to 3.5, 4 during the week. And you took the 4 because you talked yourself out of it. And
I also think like the reports come out, and especially ESPN. I try not to watch ESPN, CBS Sports, because the more I hear, it just clouds my judgment. Because I start believing what they believe, and it's like, no, I just need to believe what I believe. So that way, if I'm wrong, it's on me, not on them. But I would say this: injuries, I think, are the most overrated thing. Maybe outside of not quarterbacks, but like, we get so involved in injuries, and it's like a lot of times, especially the first game after an injury, I always think it's like, I'm not saying you throw it out the window, but it's already in the line. So it's like, it's already in the line.
I'll give you some insight into ESPN behind the curtain just quickly. Now, things have changed since I was on ESPN, but I started doing College Game Day on the radio with Dave Revson and Mel Kiper. And they came to Lincoln for a Texas game. And I was doing ESPN in Lincoln and then broadcasting my national show out of there. Actually, when me and you were together at Sports Chat Place and Picks and Parlays way back in the day when it started, we were even doing a thing on Blog Talk Radio together for Picks and Parlays. But way back in the day, I had a national show, and they got there, and I was the guy that came on for a 15-minute spot every week and talked about the sports betting angle. Back before VSiN or any of these were even a brainchild.
No one did that back then.
Anyway, Mel Kiper and Dave Revson, Kiper sits down, gets out the gold sheet out of his briefcase, back when it was gold and you opened it up bright yellow, and him and Revson, and Dave Revson right now is the lead host of the Big Ten Network on television. But that being said, they both looked at me and said, we don't know jack shit about sports betting. And they still don't. So don't put a lot of stock into what you hear on ESPN.
Well, I always say that. I mean, I give them credit because they're trying, but it's like, you can't turn, and this is what they've done. ESPN they started a betting show, and they just turned their NFL guys into like, okay, what do you think is betting? Like, dude, you didn't know anything a month ago. What makes you an expert now? It's like, you need just proven people that have been doing this for 15, 20 years. Not saying you can't figure some things out. We have younger guys here that have figured some stuff out, Griffin and Nick and that stuff, but that's rare. Rare. Why do you think they're trying to get the young bettors? The young bettors, they're making a killing on, because those are the parlay bettors. Those are the guys that are like, betting the $20 here or there, that, it's something that pays overtime in the Super Bowl and stuff like that. That pays these huge numbers. So to me, just be careful what you're watching and listening. Kind of believe what you believe. I always say, believe what you believe.
Sports YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Doc Sports YouTube channel. Watch VSiN, VSIN. You can watch Sports Grid if you want. They got rid of most of their good people on there. I don't know what they're doing, but they had a big overhaul there. But you go to a targeted market that knows what they're talking about. Right here, Doc's YouTube. You got some of the biggest long-term and young up-and-comers in the business right here at DocSports.com. I'm not paid to say that. I'm just saying we're not blowing smoke up your ass. We're giving you sports opinions.
13 of us, I think now. So you have different options. There's different flavors for what you like. If you like guys that they give out less picks, more picks, experts in college football, NHL, NBA, we have a little bit of everything. Not saying most of us do every sport, but like I like NHL, but I'm like 1 or 2 picks a week. If you want to bet NHL every day, I ain't your guy. Just not me.
Me either.
Like MLB, I bet every day. NBA, not every day, but majority of the days. But that's just, there's guys out there that work for us. Robert, it comes to mind, that gives out tons of plays. So if that's what you like to maybe play a little more, some parlay cards and stuff like that. I'm not going to be your guy because I'm giving out 3 picks on the weekend. I ain't going to fill your parlay card up. Same with probably Tony. But there's guys that we do have, if you want to play that can do it. So if you're a big bettor and you want to get down, hey, I want to get down one big play, we got those guys. Tony and I. IC's the same way. He's an Indian Cowboy. He's only giving out pretty much 1 play per sport per day. So check us out. That's what that free 60 is for. But let's talk baseball, Tony. Sure. Hey, your Royals, you're wearing the hat. You're on the show. I was like, I got to talk to Royals. I had a big play yesterday, a 4-unit play yesterday on them. Easy. It wasn't as easy as the score looked, but they played really well. They're playing great baseball. And you look now, what are they, 3 games back, 4 games back of the last?
Yeah, they're doing good. I was with you. Of course, Mondays, I never put out more usually than the 3-unit play because crazy stuff happens on Mondays in baseball.
Yeah.
So whatever the conventional handicapping wisdom tells you on Mondays, you figure all that out, then you just bet the other way. And you're probably going to hit about 70%. So you got to be careful on Mondays. But I also have the Royals there at -130. Tonight, you got a good pitching matchup. Merrill Kelly going up against Seth Lugo. It's an even.
He struggled, right? The last 2 starts. This is kind of his worst 2 starts of the year, right, Lugo?
Yeah, Lugo gave up 7 runs in each of his last 2 starts, but he's got a 3.30 home ERA. He pitches well at home. I'm going to the game tonight, so I'm going to see this live and in person. But
I hope you don't have the Griffin and Nick jinx. When they go there, like they went yesterday. Nick's Cubs lost again. Like that's just their jinx.
Yeah, Nick. They text me. I said, I don't give a rat's ass who wins that early game as long as there's a Nerfy in it. And I hit that big time for a 5-unit play yesterday. So I had no runs with that pitching matchup. But I like, if you had a way to lean in this game, it looks pretty even across the board. Texas has no offense. Kansas City had bats. They have the least amount of home runs scored at home in Major League Baseball. Them and Pitt are having a race. But if you take a look at this game, it's even across the board. Look at the bullpens. Kansas City's last 3 games, their bullpen pitches 0.82 ERA. That's the difference in the ballgame. I think Kansas City -110 can get over on them.
I mean, this is crazy. The Kansas City's this is every game this year, 3.78 they've scored this year, and runs allowed 3.81. So that's a negative, yet they're 3 games up above 500. That is hard to do. Yeah. Usually, if you're above 500, you have a little bigger spread and you're plus. So the one thing I think Texas, I don't understand Texas because that offense was really good last year. Basically, a lot of the same faces. And this year, they're a little better, 4.08 or something like that. But if they could score runs, they would be a dangerous team.
So was Kansas City. And what's crazy, Craig, is, I watch a lot of VSiN and other podcasts. And at the All-Star break, everybody was wanting to jump on Texas. Yep. Hey, they're coming on. I said, dude, can they pitch? These 2 teams kind of mirror each other in a lot of ways.
Yeah. They both have good pitching. And it's just, if they can hit with runners in scoring position, you don't have to score 10 runs because you have great pitching. Yet this is almost like Seattle was last year, where it was like, dude, if they could just score some runs, and they're not. The weird thing is Texas did score last year, and they're so far below. You eventually return to the mean, as they say. You kind of catch up to the back of your baseball card. I keep waiting for Texas to do that. They have not done that. So today the story will be, can Lugo, what was wrong with Lugo the last 2 starts? Can he get it back? Because they need that because they, like you said, they can't score. They can't score. So like,
if you're going to get healthy off 2 bad outings, Texas, when you're pitching at home, is a team to do it against.
Yeah, I kind of leaned. I think I have a 2-unit play today. Texas first 5. I just think maybe Lugo. If I was Kansas City, I would try to get him 3.5 to 4.5 innings and be like, if it's a good start, let's get out of here. The bullpen's great. Let's try to make this. And I kind of thought 1 run might be it. 1-1. It might be 0-0 after 5. It might be 1-0 after 5.
Good nerfy bet. It's a good nerfy bet too. No runs first inning. I'm sure it's chalky. I didn't look.
Yep.
I've got another nerfy out today. We've been killing it with props. I mean, killing it with props. Plus $2,255 the last 9 picks we've had in props. But that nerfy prop, that's got to be 150.
What do you think of this? We got a doubleheader, which was crazy. Yesterday was supposed to be a doubleheader in Chicago.
Yep.
And then it rained. The Brewers won easy early. Now they've won 14 of the last 15. I mean, over a 70-game period, they're like 54-16 or something. I mean, it is absolutely nuts. But today's the doubleheader. I'm not saying this is a must-win for the Cubs, but you lose these 2 games today. You start looking at the teams behind them. They're going to be they're going to be tough to make the wild card potentially.
Yeah, they're going the wrong direction. In Milwaukee, I'm not getting involved in those games because you'd think they're due for regression, and Chicago's due to go the other way. But every time you get involved with something and go, I'm going to bet it because quote unquote something's due, you end up getting your ass kicked. So I'm staying away from it. I'm going to watch them. I'm going to enjoy them, but I'm just going to stay away from it. I got to see if Chicago could turn things around.
I like the second game, but I hate betting second games in doubleheaders because I don't know what happens in the first game.
That's right. And that you can't, I want it, and they switched pitchers late. Yeah. Chicago did. They were going to go with Boyce on, and then it goes undecided on live odds, and then it goes back to Italian. So there's too many, like you said, there's too many loose ends.
What if they have to use a bunch of bullpen the first game? It's like they use 4 bullpen guys. Right. All of a sudden now you pretty much have to tell your starter, listen, even if you're struggling, we're going to probably make you go an extra inning or 2 because we're trying not to kill our bullpen. And remember, they lost the last game of the Red Series because in extra innings, the guy gave up the run in the 9th inning. They said, listen, our bullpen was been used up because that was the 3rd straight game they played extra innings. They said they made him go out in the 10th inning. He had nothing left, and they didn't even get a guy up in the bullpen. They were like, this is yours to lose or win, and they lost. So to me, it's like this is a tough game, but Woodruff's been great since he's only had 5 or 6 starts, and I like that second game, but I'm not staying off because it's this. I just wish this was first game because if it was the first game, I'd be a play on Woodruff.
That's one of them things you sit around and see what happens in the first game, and you bet it late, and you watch the line move, and go from there. Woodruff has been.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's just been spot on, man. He's got good stuff on the ball. He doesn't get out of shape. He doesn't walk batters. He doesn't put runners in scoring position. It's very tough to beat him when he's on the hill and on his A game.
And don't you think it's a big edge where he was injured. That's why he didn't start the season, and he's only had 5 or 6 starts. So he's pretty fresh. Everybody else is kind of hitting a wall at this point of the year where you're just like, man, how many more games? A lot of times they'll give extra day rest. They'll put a 6th guy in rotation every once in a while in August or even early September just to give everybody that extra little day. You don't need to. This staff has 6 starters. Mizorowski's even been out, like as good as the rookie's been, the all-star rookie. So it's like, imagine getting back your basically ace or kind of ace, your second ace. And Mizorowski is your 3rd best. We were talking, I think it was Nick the other day. What are you going to do in the playoffs? Because they have such good starters. You really only play 3 starters in 7-game series now with the days in between a lot. So it's like, is Mizorowski your 3rd there?
Yeah.
I mean, I think so, but it's like, do you pitch a rookie? He has probably the best stuff, but it's like, a lot of inexperience. Or do you put him as those spot closers that you have? I mean, they have a lot of options. It will be interesting what they do come playoffs.
They're going to be.
I'd rather have three great starters, like if you have that three no doubt starters, because then it's like there's no question. We're going with these three studs. We're going to work them out, and then you put those starters in the bullpen. They have 6 good starters. I don't know what you do.
Yep. Yankees made a living doing that for years, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I was just saying something the other day, imagine if Garrett Cole was on the Yankees this year.
Yeah.
Like that team would be a totally different. Everybody moves down a spot. You have your guaranteed ace.
Colorado beat them yesterday.
It was what, 3-0, I think? It was 3-0 in the second inning, and they didn't score another run.
Again, Monday. It's Monday.
Yeah, that was the Dodgers. That was the Dodgers.
The Dodgers, yeah. I'm thinking the other really good team in Major League Baseball. You let Colorado beat you. That's why I don't F around on Mondays very often.
And it was a great setup.
I couldn't believe it.
We talked yesterday, me and Bobby, and Lenny, about they had just swept the Padres. Everybody's like patting them on the back. Oh, you're back. And it was like, that was the greatest setup. But they got off to a 3-0 lead. I was like, in the second inning, I was like, you know what? Maybe they didn't let down. Yeah, but they didn't score another game, lose 4-3. And, if you're that team, if they can score 4 runs, you think you're going to win most games. But that's not happening. The Rockies have been better, though, Tony, right? Like
they have been better.
They had nowhere to go but up. Them and the White Sox, to be very honest. Like at a point in the season, I thought if you just played them every day, you were going to be very profitable. But now it's like they're winning at ridiculous. I think yesterday was it plus 300, plus 295 or something. That's crazy.
Plus 285 they closed at.
That's crazy.
And another upset yesterday, Pittsburgh getting on Toronto. I like Toronto. Since we're talking free plays, I like Toronto on the run line plus 110 today. They get Mitch Keller. He's given up 21 hits his last 3 games, 13 runs, 6 walks. You can't be putting runners in scoring position with Toronto. And of course, they got Scherzer on the hill. He's only given up 4 runs his last 3 games. I always like good teams to bounce back the next day if they got a solid pitcher on the hill. I'd lean Toronto on that run line. I'd lay the 1.5 plus 110.
I gave out a first 5 on my free pick video last night. Pittsburgh first 5. This Toronto team seems like Scherzer scares me, first of all. Like that, he gets it done still, but he has to throw a lot of pitches nowadays to get what he used to. He just, it's at that point of your career. It'd be like me trying to go play basketball again, like what I did in college. I ain't gonna be that good at it.
But watch him pitch against shitty hitting teams. He still dominates, and Pittsburgh's a shitty hitting team. I mean, bottom line,
they do hit power though. They're like if you watch the home run derby this year, like they have guys that can home runs. They strike out a lot though. They do strike out a lot.
Big strikeout team.
Which to be very honest, that's baseball nowadays. Like the number of strikeouts that teams have, or that players have, and guys hitting 230, striking out, 3 times most games. It's like I just don't like it. Tony, if you bet 230 in the 80s and 90s, you were in the minors. Like, unless you could steal bases or a ridiculous defense or something. It's just guys now. That's just norm. They're just guys don't hit for average, and they don't care if they strike out.
That means the entire Kansas City batting rotation would be playing up in Omaha.
Well, imagine when almost every team would have a 300 batter when I was growing up. Like that, it would be like, oh, who's your 300 batter? There's like 5 guys in the majors batting over 300 this year. I mean, Judge is hitting like 380 or something, right? Or 370, but like everybody else there's a few. And then it's like, you go after that. At one point, I think Ellie De La Cruz was hitting 279, and he was 6th in the National League in batting average. 6th. I'm like, dude, if you put that in the late 90s, early 2000s, he wouldn't be in the top 100. There would be that many players above him.
Yeah, the pitching's definitely gotten better over the years.
The pitcher's gotten better, and you get paid to hit home runs now and drive. You get paid to hit home runs and drive in, and that's what people try to do.
Yeah.
And I think that for us bettors, that's an advantage because, as I try to play when I'm playing totals unders as much as possible, because I know everybody out there, that's what they want to watch. But like
I would
there's a
say
lot.
75% of my premium plays that are totals this year have been unders.
Yeah. There's just
I'm looking for unders.
I mean, I
For
always thought it was
various
shaded.
reasons, just because you got two pitchers with a less than a 2 ERA, less than a 3 ERA going at it. You still got to worry about bullpens that got a 4.7 something ERA and a 1.8 something WHIP. I mean, so you got to find the right spots, but the unders anymore I'd like to see a number overall of what the over and unders have been so far this year in Major League Baseball. I haven't really looked, but I do play a lot of unders, Craig.
Do you think I always thought it was shaded a half, because they have to, because there's more the public's going to bet the overs, so they have to shade it. I used to think it's a half. I think it's more like 0.7 now, 0.72 now, because now with the the pushing to get young people, they definitely are going to be even at a higher rate on the overs. So like, I'm not saying you go just bet all unders. Don't get me wrong. There's still times I play overs.
Oh, sure.
But you just have to know when you're playing the overs, and this is any sport, but definitely in baseball, that you are going to be on the house side. That's where they need the win. They need the unders to help them juice up the profits a little bit.
Speaking of overs, I wanted to switch gears real quick to the WNBA for those of you that aren't tuning into the daily free play video, which you should. Not only me, but everybody else is putting them out here. We got a big play tonight in the WNBA. We're on a solid 7-3 run. We hit back-to-back 7-unit picks in back-to-back days last week in the WNBA, and we're over 60% on the year, which 2 out of the last 3 years we've hit over 60%. And I can't tell you how hard it is to go 60% in any major any sports season. And we're going to be well on our way to 3 out of the last 4 years over 61%. But it's interesting. I talked about this. I thought I'd bring it up on Doc's Daily since we got a lot of guys that like talking betting. You have a very strong market when it comes to Major League Baseball, NBA, and football, meaning you don't see a lot. You see line movement here and there.
Yeah.
In the WNBA, you see 5 and 6 point swings during the day. That tells you that odds makers have a soft market. They react more to money being bet than they do in football. They don't give a rat's ass to somebody come in and put, $20,000 on Kansas State for Saturday against Iowa State. That's not going to move the needle.
The take is, on this college, say that game, the take's going to be 100,000 times higher than the WNBA. Thus, they could get stung a little bit, at least on a smaller scale.
Right. So
what's your WNBA like? What do you like? Because of the Caitlin Clark, you think that's why the WNBA is getting bet so much more? Like just more exposure?
Yep, I do. Her, Angel Reese, you got this Sophie Cunningham,
Paige
Grazel, Paige Beckers. You got a lot more interest in it. It started when she was in college, and people got more interest. And I'm fine with that. Odds makers aren't catching up. This Connecticut Sun at Washington tonight, the total was 157 last I checked. These two teams played twice this year. Once the total was 159 and they scored 177 points. The next time they played, they dropped the total down to 155 and they scored 171 points. They're playing for the third time. When both totals exceeded the Las Vegas line by 15 points or more, and they stick the total at 156, they've raised it a point. And yes, Connecticut has one of the worst offenses in the WNBA. They scored 93 2 days ago against Indiana. They've allowed 90 and 104 against Washington this year, and this total sits at 157. They have not reacted they've underadjusted the line by a point and a half. Take the over in that game tonight between Washington and Connecticut.
I like Washington too there.
They were up to 6 last I saw.
Yeah, Connecticut's just not a good team. Now, they have
blown
played
out
a little better. And I will say this, in the WNBA, the the head scratching losses happen all the time.
Oh, they do.
You'll see 12 point lose by 12. With a girl out, with your best player out. It's like that just doesn't happen in the NBA or even college basketball, men's college basketball. And with the WNBA, the talent gap is just not as great. There's a lot less teams, first of all. I mean, there's just not that many teams. So the average player is better. Now, we're going to see a big expansion. I'm interested to see, does that water down the WNBA a lot? Because we had an expansion this year, and Golden State's good, by the way. Like, I think they're 500 or maybe one game over.
It just shows you the parity level of the players that are in there. They picked up a lot of fifth and
those are all expansion draft girls.
6th woman, 7th woman, 8th woman on the roster and other teams, and brought them in there. And they'll tell you one thing about Golden State. Because of that, they're very well coached.
And they're feisty. It's like these appreciate that they're getting the opportunity. They're one star player. And stars move in the WNBA. They're one star free agent to be in a really good team next year.
Yeah, and they're selling out every game, too. They're selling out every game.
Is it Detroit or is it Cleveland?
Detroit's one of them.
Next year, and then Cleveland the year after. There's an expansion over the next 3 years. I think there's going to be 3 different teams. And then, of course, Boston, the limited partner of Boston is trying to buy Connecticut as we speak and move it to Boston. So, I mean, if you saw what they bid to get the team, I mean, it's like 30 to 50 times what the owner originally paid for it or something. So, I mean, the owner's done very well.
It used to be $5 to $10 million for the franchise. Now they're going for hundreds.
250 million, I think it was.
Yeah.
So there's I worry that they're moving too fast with the expansion.
Yep.
But they are trying to hit it while, strike it while it's hot, like take advantage of these great run. And they've got another one coming. The girl from USC, what's her name? Juju. If she comes back, she had the knee injury in the tournament last year. So hopefully she'll come back strong. When she comes to the league, she's going to instantly be one of the top 5 players in the league. So, I mean, they basically added a top 5 player 2 years in a row with Paige and with Caitlin, and then now with Juju coming in. That's how good these girls are in college now, that they're just coming in ready to play. So it'll be interesting how they do.
Living out in Vegas, for 8 years, I went to a lot of Aces games.
Yeah,
they have them there at Mandalay Bay there in that auditorium.
Love that game.
And these chicks can ball. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at them going, they hit so many 3-pointers. I go, you got teams in the NBA that don't launch threes and make them like these gals do. It's a fun, exciting game to watch. And of course, the Aces were kicking the piss out of everybody and winning titles when I was there. It was a lot of fun. You saw a lot of celebrities there. You always do at big sporting events in Vegas, obviously. But boy, they were real popular with anybody that was in town. They would be right there on court side. You could see them. And but it like everything else in Vegas, not only is like the hockey games. Yes, it's a sporting event, but quote unquote, it's an event because it's in Vegas. It's a show. And so you ever get a chance if you're out in Vegas, get tickets to an Aces game. They're not that expensive and they're a lot of fun. And Mandalay Bay is a fun place to hang out.
I went to the Knights game that I took my daughter. She was 12. We went to watch them lose to Washington and lose the cup. The next day we sat courtside at the and it's the same people, the same entertainment group that runs both running both at the same time. They were putting on a heck of a show. We were courtside. They were like, I had like all the food and drink you could have in the back. It was just like the who's who of Vegas. I didn't know any of them because they were, like people that I didn't know, executives, I'm sure. It was a day game. And I was like, I couldn't believe sold out for a day game, by the way, that day. And this is before Vegas made the huge run. They just got, what's her name? Their best player.
Asia Wilson.
Yeah. She was a rookie that year and she was awesome, but rest of the team around her wasn't as good. So it is definitely, I will say Vegas puts on an event. It's similar. I always say similar to hockey. If you go watch hockey, you don't like hockey, go watch it in person. You will like it. It's different. It doesn't translate on TV. Women's basketball is somewhat the same way. It's still good on TV, but it's not like it is. You sit courtside of the WNBA game, you're like, damn, these girls are athletic. It does not come across on the TV like that.
Right.
For the most part.
I don't like hockey. I don't like hockey. First time I went to a hockey game, it was in Washington, actually, with a buddy of mine that lived out there talked me into going. I'd never been to one before. I said, I don't like hockey. I went there. I love hockey. When they got that team when we were living in Vegas, I mean, Wade that owns the company's got basically company ticket seats. And he would go, hey, I don't want to go to the game tonight. I'd look at my wife. She go, my wife loved it as much as I did.
Yeah.
It is visceral. It's fun. And it's,
I don't know how you get that on TV, Tony. I don't know. It's better. They've done a better. I think they put the mics on the, so you hear it more, but the speed and athleticism that an NHL guy has just doesn't come across on the TV as it does in person. In person, it's like you watch him like hop over guys and just on a dead sprint and keep going. It's like, dude, everybody and their brother would fall down doing that except these elite group of guys. And it's just a different level. I think football's better on TV. I think the NBA and college basketball is as good on TV, other than, obviously college basketball, some of the events like the rivalries. But to me, the NHL and the WNBA, if they can figure out a way to have that, to translate that, their success, their growth would be ridiculous.
So you think NFL, high impact, high collision, physical sport, they ain't got jack shit on the NHL. Oh. These guys are athletes and they're tough as nails. And
I don't know how they play as many games as they do, Tony. You imagine
I don't know either.
Taking the beating. And now, granted, they do only play like a third of the game, but still, you take those hits. There's a reason why they only play the football once a week. These guys can barely walk a day or two after. You're taking those kind of collision hits, dead sprint, both of them. And there's not like the head rule as much as the NFL where we're trying to protect guys now.
Right.
But these guys, and they're small. Like to be honest, they look big because they've got the pads on. But when you see them without the thing, they are not 6'8", these behemoths that you see offensive linemen. These are small guys. These are like 5'10" guys that weigh like 175, 180. They're just solid rocks.
Some are smaller than that.
Yeah. I saw him. Who was the great goalie that when they won the cup? And then he's just retired last year. He was their first goalie.
Shit.
What's his name?
Gosh darn it.
My daughter, when they lost that year, she wanted his jersey. So I got her, an authentic jersey. And we saw him out like 3 days later in Fleury. And that dude is tiny.
Yeah, I was not a big cat at all.
No, very small. I mean,
met him a bunch of times in Vegas. Yeah,
I was like, I've seen other goalies out, and they're not big either. But this guy was one of the smallest guys. I mean, which is obviously a huge disadvantage because if you're bigger, you just naturally blocking more of the net.
Yeah.
So to be as good as he was at that small, and that just is the nature of hockey, is they're just smaller guys. They look big because they're wearing these huge, pads and stuff, but they're just not big guys.
They're not big dudes.
If you have a chance to get in Vegas and see the Knights or the WNBA, and I haven't got to see Raiders yet. I'm hoping this year when I go out to Vegas, I can make sure Vegas Raiders, because I want to see, is it the show that, have you seen a game out there, an NFL game out there yet?
Bunch of them. Yeah.
Is it as much of a show
every time Kansas City played there, I went. It's like going to a home game. I mean, that's the thing.
That's in general,
that's
right?
The thing about Vegas, and remember this too, folks, when you're betting, a lot of people build in 2 or 3 points for home field advantage. Don't do that for Vegas, because I'll tell you right now, don't do it for the Chargers. People either go to LA or Vegas. Say,
make a trip out of it.
So you're a Bengals fan. So you're going to go, I'm going to go to one away game this year. I wonder where I'm going to go. Well, you're not going to go to Green Bay. Freeze your ass.
To Buffalo.
Not going to go to Buffalo. You're going to maybe Miami, maybe, but you're definitely going to go to Vegas or LA. And so they don't have a home field. There's equal, if not more, fans from opposing teams because it's a destination stadium. It's a great stadium. It's a great place to go. It's a pain in the ass to get to. Uber there, take a bus. Don't attempt to drive. There's really no tailgating at all. I mean, it's a weird deal, but it's built for Las Vegas, so it's different in the same respect.
Which don't you think that's why the Raiders fans haven't maybe made the Mecca as much, because that game day experience around the stadium isn't what it is in normal stadiums?
Yeah, it is, and it's interesting. There's all the locals. The big thing out there, and I'll just go ahead and put on my I'll go ahead and put on my nice
There you
hat.
go.
But out there, the big thing is Vegas born.
Yeah.
And people that have grown up there, they've adopted these guys.
Yeah.
They are
For sure.
absolute. This is 20-1 fan support versus the Raiders. The Raiders have been brought in. The A's are being brought in. But these guys,
It also happened with
shuts
that.
down when they play games. They don't have another game on television, any sports bar, when the Knights are playing. And
were
if
you out there?
Like it, turn around.
Were you out there when they had the shooting? Were you out there? Because that was the opening year.
No, that was that was I moved. That happened. I don't know, in October or something of that year. I moved out there the following April. I was about 6 months removed from that. Had a big effect. Had a lot of people that I knew that had family and friends there.
Yeah.
And some of them affected. One of them had a niece there that the person that she was with got shot, survived, but I talked to her about it. And it was a harrowing story, a horrible ordeal there. That really brought Vegas together as a community, and this brings them together as a community.
Yep. And that happened right before the season, right? That was like a week or two before the season, and it really was like the rallying cry where. And remember that year, didn't they start out like 15-2 or something?
Yeah,
it was like that motivated not just the fans, but the players felt it, and it was like this. It was something that I've never seen. First of all, no expansion teams ever made the finals like that. Like that, just
unreal.
Like to do it, but it had a lot to do with the. Like just that community, like you said, not only were they proud to be born there, but it was like, hey, not only are we proud of this, let's put our, on a good thing. So let's wrap up here, Tony. It's always good getting you on. Don't forget, if you want to get Tony's football pass, or you want to get my football pass, we have a sale right now, $749. That's preseason. Well, there's only 1 week of preseason, but NFL, college football, all the way through the postseason. That's bowl games, playoff games in the NFL, everything. And you can get it right now. I think it's through week 1 of the NFL, and then that price goes up by $250. So make sure you get on it now. It ends up being like $15 a week or something, or maybe even a little less than that. So you really can't get on. That's basically 6 months of football betting. So make sure you get in on that over there. And right now, if you get in today, either one, or you can purchase anybody, but you purchase it, they'll throw in 2 other cappers for the first 2 weeks of the season. Just test us out. Just so you have a chance. Now, how you get it? Very simple. You buy, you send an email to service@DocSports and say, hey, I bought the pass. I'd also like X capper and X capper. They'll throw it in your account. And then after, maybe you want a different capper, another capper, one of those or somebody else in addition the rest of the season. So make sure you get on it and try it out. All right, Tony, thanks again for joining me. If you haven't done so, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the stuff we do here every day, Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. Good luck, and I hope all your bets are winning ones.